to the Let's Get Rowdy podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Reed, felon, serial entrepreneur, nonprofit founder, and someone who feels like he's already lived multiple lifetimes. On this show, I talk a little shit, overshare some, and break down real life the only way I know how. Raw, honest, and without a single filter. If you're here for a rowdy good time, you're in the right place. Buckle up. It's time to get rowdy.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Let's Get Rowdy podcast. I've got a special guest with me today, Mr. Jeremy Nelson, and we are going to talk about addiction and several other things. So, Jeremy?
Hey, Dylan, thanks so much for having me on here. I was kind of surprised when you reached out, but it's really good. So I think we both have a lot of the same history, all the same past and whatnot. And, I'm just happy to be here. We're going to talk about, I know, some wild things, but where do you want to start with?
Man, first off, I want to say thank you. I kind of mentioned it in the pilot episode. You're kind of the reason that I ended up going into making this podcast and content creation. You invited me to that group, and I just sat in the background watching for a while, and then finally I was like, you know what, I can do this too. So here we are.
Oh, right on, man. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad I was able to help inspire some of that. That's a lot of reasons why I do what I do, is to try to inspire and motivate and things like that.
Yes, sir.
It's interesting too, because let's see, I grew up in church. I grew up under a minister, right? And, 15 years old, left home, did my thing, got married at 23. But at my divorce, after 13 years when she divorced me, that's when all of the addictive things that I had before I got married at 23 really came into bloom with me. And I moved back out here, selling drugs, got caught up, went did a little time, and here I am now.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's the thing. I don't know. The thing about addiction to me is it doesn't really matter how we've grown up.
No.
A lot of people say it's an environmental thing. And I get that, but we all make our personal decisions and choices.
Yeah, it does not discriminate. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, a little bit of me. I'm kind of the opposite. I was about 15 when I started fucking up pretty good. And from there, things got worse until about 2018, 2019. And then I finally started getting it together. So December, the beginning of this month, made 6 years since I've been out. So.
Nice.
Yes,
Let me ask you a question. What's been able to keep you in the mindset of not turning back to any of those addictive things?
Just not wanting to be in that life anymore. I saw where it was taking me. And the way drugs are nowadays, I'm terrified for anyone that does drugs.
Yeah, that's true. There's so much crap going on with it, and for me, and a lot of people that I've talked to as well, I utilize a lot of what I talk about with addiction in my life and transformation stuff in my business.
Right.
And I'm pretty transparent and open about a lot of stuff that I post. Some things are private to me, but a lot of things I post because there's other people that are just like us. Just like something, and they're just at a moment in life where it's like, how do I get out of what I'm doing? How do I move on and move forward into whatever next is for me?
Yeah.
And honestly, even though I went through addiction, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I knew exactly what I needed to do to better my life. And guess what? I was content in a house with no running water. I was content in a house with no electricity. At times, I was content sleeping behind dumpsters. Why? Just because I had my next fix. That's the terror, I think, of addiction, is that we don't really realize until we're out of it to see, man, how was I even content? How was I content sleeping on a bag full of clothes behind a dumpster here in town?
It's crazy how we lived our life just to get that fix, like you said. And there's something that I said in the first episode, and I'm probably going to say in a lot more, is the good thing about it is your past does not define your future.
Oh, absolutely. No, yeah, I teach that a lot to a lot of my entrepreneurs, is that we have a past to learn from. The mistakes are there to be of value to us. I tell them, fail forward. Don't fail backward, but fail forward. And just like you said, our past doesn't define and it does not dictate the future.
Absolutely.
That's what a lot of people are stuck in. I have a few friends right now, really close friends, that I've been chatting a lot with, and there's one of them that kind of refers to me as her mentor, even though we don't have an official saying there,
Right.
That's an official relationship with that. But she's learning, she's moving through things and so forth, but there's times when that old thinking, stinking thinking, they call it back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Comes out, and I have to tell her, okay, don't call me a mentor anymore.
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa. So, well, because you're saying you want to do this, and I get it. You want to. It's hard to. I'm teaching you how to, and yet you just throw it out the window.
Yep.
You know, and it's not that it's not that it's wasting energy of mine. You're wasting energy trying to do something you're never going to do.
Right.
You know,
that goes back to something else that I say quite a bit is nobody's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. And it's not that there's not help out there.
Yeah.
You have to want to change, and you have to do the steps. Every single day you have to wake up. It's a new day. I've got to get through it without doing drugs, without doing whatever that addiction is. So.
You know, there was a time in my life after I had just gotten out of prison, and you know, I had that year of aftercare. Then I had to finish up my 3 years remaining of my 5 years probation, right? But as soon as I got off of paper, something flipped in my head, and I went to the bar to play pool. Right here in Sulphur Springs, I went to the bar to play pool. And that was it. I had a shot, had a beer, right back into drinking, you know. And there's something a lot of people don't, I think, in my opinion, discuss with addiction is that, because when we think of addiction, we're thinking of the needle user. We're thinking of the person that's homeless. We're thinking of the person that's out there prostituting themselves for drugs. That's our mindset.
Right.
How many of us drink alcohol?
A lot.
Right. You know, oh, it's just a social thing at night. Help me go to sleep. Sure. Go 3 days and tell me if it's not an addiction.
Yeah.
You know, and so when I went to that pool hall, stuck right into it. Now, at that time, I took a break from a lot of entrepreneur stuff with selling cars. And eventually I had to quit working and selling cars because I had killed my job from alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, I went through a Corvette, went through a 2022 Ram truck, right? And then a convertible Camaro. Don't have any of them anymore. You know, I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit the addiction lifestyle I've allowed it to take things from me. So I'm not going to blame the addiction or the item.
Right.
I made the choices. And I don't have a car now. Matter of fact, you picked me up to come to this podcast.
Yes, sir.
Right? I mean, but there's no shame in that. It's all about growing. It's all about being able to truly hold ourselves accountable to our own transformation.
Right.
You know, because many times we're gonna do things for show, or we're gonna do things for people to see that we're doing better, or we're gonna say things to say, hey, see, I told you, we don't need validation. You don't need justification for anything. You just need to make the right choice every time. Yeah. And that's not the easiest thing to do.
It's not. And I mean, actions speak louder than words. You can say you want to do something all day, but are you actually going to do what's needed to get there? So, and another thing that I don't like about the kind of mainstream addiction thing is people like, yes, it might be a disease, but to me, that just gives somebody a crutch to lean on when they're in addiction. Well, it's a disease. I have a disease. Well, yeah, maybe, but I just don't like how the mainstream thinking on that is that it's addiction.
Well, you know, the whole idea is based in mental health psychology. That's where it all comes from, proving it a disease. And I agree with that to a certain extent, because a drug user technically is a mental health patient now.
Right.
Okay, so there are some things in our brain that get rewired. We get black spots, and then there's things that leave. We don't remember anymore. We won't remember for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
But I have a choice to wake up every day and choose to not do meth.
Yeah. Right.
I have a choice to wake up every day and choose to not do acid or, you know, whatever your DOC is, right? I have a choice to do that. And the minute you decide, I'm just going to do it. I'm just do a line real quick. Now you've allowed that feeling in you to overtake and control.
Yeah. And
now you're making a choice. So really disease, no, it's more of a choice. It's more of the ability to decide, you know what? I need to learn coping mechanisms. I need to learn how I can get this out of my head.
Yeah.
And it refers back to what you said a while ago. I'm going to use this old analogy. You can lead a horse to water.
Yeah.
Can't make it drink, right? It's the same thing with rehab. Rehab and the ability to change and come out of an addictive lifestyle, 9 times out of 10, it's not really the drug. It's the lifestyle.
And the thinking behind it.
Yes, and the thinking behind it, you know. And with me, it was about money and power, because I'm the dealer, you know. And money and power and go, and, you know.
Yeah, I actually, for a long time, was basically pot, maybe some Xanax and stuff like that, or some cocaine here and there. Well, then I started dealing meth, and I realized how much money I was losing when I was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And my rock bottom was 17 days, no sleep, and I was 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah. Oh, I've had runs like that. Thankfully, not anymore.
Right.
I done gained all my weight back. You know? But I will tell you this, you know, we can talk about we can talk about addiction, we can talk about life, we can talk about choices, but none of it matters if we're not learning how to transform, if we're not being able to apply simple little techniques or coping mechanisms or something in our life. You'd said every day, one day at a time, and that's what the steps teach, one day at a time. When I got out, I was so worried that I wasn't going to be able to stay clean. I literally said, okay, this 30 minutes, I'm not going to do anything. Eventually it went up to an hour. Eventually it went up to 2 hours. And I stair-stepped myself all the way up to 24 hours. Yeah. And excuse me, it's probably one of the hardest things I did. But as soon as I did, then it became just a normal, natural habit to make it a day.
Yep.
And I'm real big on living in the now, living in the present, not the past, nor the future. The future is an imagination in our minds. It hasn't happened yet. Anything can happen in the next 24 hours. Yeah. And so I coach very much on today is what matters. If you're upset about yesterday, go fix it with the person and leave it behind, because it's not going to lend any kind of anything to the quality of your life.
Yep, that's the past. So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've been through it.
Oh, yeah.
And that you going from 1 hour to 2, I mean, that's doing whatever it takes to get through the day. You're not looking at it as a 24-hour clock. You're looking at it as long as I just get through this hour.
That's right.
And that thinking, doing whatever it takes to get done. So.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, I might do up a little simple make it through the day sheet, and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And we'll post it up. It'll basically be, I'm just spitballing this, but basically be like a form that's going to have your week, and then check spots by the hours where you didn't think about it, maybe an X where you did think about it.
Yep.
And then that way, you can start tracking exactly how well you're growing through the addiction. I'll see if I can work with this on today or tomorrow, and I'll send it to you, and we can post it up in the comments or something.
Yeah, man, I'd love to look that over, because like I said on the first episode, we're here to try to help anyone that's in that situation and that thinking. We've been there, we've gotten through it, and I would love to help anyone that's still struggling with it.
So. Oh, absolutely. I'm totally here for it. I mean, we ain't no gurus. We're not any special people. We're just like you guys. Okay? There's nothing special about us. It's just that we are exercising our choice to let our story out, and hopefully that it teaches you. Because there's a saying, your story is someone else's survival guide.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't think your story's strong enough. Your story is strong enough, and this is all part of it right here. So I'm thankful for the opportunity, man.
I am too. And like I said, I'll thank you again for even pushing me to do this. What kind of led to it before that was the nonprofit, me being president of it when we founding it, and just wanting to help people with that. And then more and more people have come to me, and they're like, I'm so proud of where you've come and all that. And I don't do it for that, but it got me to thinking there's people that I can help in other ways. And that's what led to this.
Well, the encouragement, we don't quote do things for things in this area. However, any leader, my mentors tell me this, and the people I coach and teach, I tell them, every leader needs somebody to encourage them, admonish them, love on them. I mean, there's things that we leaders need, because a lot of times we just pour, not realizing we got to fill ourselves back up. Right. And I learned that something, I guess, many moons ago, was that I have to have someone over me, because I don't know it all. And I'm still learning things too, so there's an accountability factor in there, Matter of fact, with that sheet that I'm talking about with you, might make it an accountability sheet. If they comment on it or something, we can plug them into an accountability spreadsheet or something, and then we can, I don't know, spitballing, bro, brainstorming, man.
And so in the first episode, I had a section in there where I told people, if you have a story you want told or something you want to share, send it to me. Man, I had several people reach out. It's not stories they wanted public, but I was just proud of them opening up to share about that thing and things that they've accomplished and gotten over. And there were several of those people. So if you're listening and y'all were somebody that reached out to me, congratulations. I'm proud of you. And a support system is super important. Luckily, I have a great support system, but I know not everybody does. So I would love to be part of your support system if I need to be.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. A support system was probably one of the main things that helped me out when I got out, even though slipped a little bit when I got off of paper.
Right.
And even now, you know, you've been watching my posts. Even now, because my you know, the thing with my sister in July messed me up, and I started drinking again. I've been sober. You listen, guys, I've been sober 11 months, 11 and a half months. Okay, cigarettes and alcohol, right? And then my sister was taking the Texas floods in July. But that messed me up so much that I literally got mad at God. I questioned my faith, all these things. And I'm just now, I woke up, I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago. Actually, I went to bed 2 or 3 weeks. I said, you know, I cannot be back in this life. I have to make a decision. Here we are again, making choices. I was choosing to stay in that wallowing pity of losing my sister.
Grief's hard though, man.
Oh, very hard. There ain't no doubt, very hard. But I just made the decision. You know what? I have too much that people need from me.
Yeah.
You know, I've been teaching and coaching for over 20 years. Salespeople, business owners, now creators, now talking to addicts. I mean, there's no reason for me to keep any of that behind. There's no reason for you to keep it behind the wall.
Right.
We need to give it out. So yes, support systems are good, and we both are volunteering. I'm speaking for myself. I'm going to speak for him too, because he just did. That we will be glad to help support you guys in any way possible. So if you need a support system, reach out to either one of us, and we can definitely connect you with people, or we can also help too. So
yeah, absolutely.
This episode is brought to you by Rowdy Goose Parties and More, where the fun is always rowdy, always safe, and always memorable. From backyard birthdays to city festivals, we help turn moments into memories. We hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and now let's get back to the show.
Something about seeing my growth in myself. So probably around 2020, I hadn't been clean a real long time from narcotics, and I was worried about losing my great grandpa. And I told everyone around me, the day that happens, y'all are gonna have to watch me good, because I just knew I would relapse. Well, we buried him, and I closed the casket on him. Saturday was a week ago, so a little over a week ago, and never once did using ever cross my mind.
now, see, that's what is important about that is because first of all, you recognize your weakness and ability to fall back because of a traumatic or a serious experience. But because you realize that and you told yourself and you asked for accountability, I promise you that's why your brain said, no, I'm good. Let's just move forward. You know, we've got too many people rooting for you to mess that up.
Yeah,
and, you know, subconsciously, I'm pretty sure you're probably aware of that. So good job, man.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I mean, it's hard, but also I was preparing for that day for a long time. He would have been 92 the 20th. Yeah, he was born 33. So the 20th, he would have been 92. And he's my great grandpa. So I've been preparing for that day really since I was around 14 years old. Most people aren't lucky enough to even have a great grandpa in their life, much less have one till they're almost 30.
Yeah, so, yeah, no doubt.
He wasn't living much of a life anymore, and he told me a few months ago, he said, buddy, I just don't want to be here anymore. So that made it easier. It still sucks. I mean, that was my best friend for my whole life.
Yeah.
We did everything together, whether it was baseball games, fishing. These fish on the wall, I know y'all can't see them, but those are all his fish. He was a big bass fisherman. I caught my biggest bass to date with him. It was a 10.02.
Ooh.
So yeah, loss sucks, but I'm just not where I used to be, thankfully, and I was able to actually handle that and deal with it without going off the deep end. So
that's good. That's good. I want to kind of use that to bring up another point too. Is when we make things like that in our mind, you know, we start saying things like, "I'm gonna try not to use. I'm gonna try not to relapse. I'm gonna try not to do this." The brain interprets try as, "Oh, I have the ability to fail. That's okay."
Yeah.
And so little word changes like try, change to do. I mean, you know the company Nike, right? Nike is actually Greek for to conquer the people, to overcome, right? And so that's why their slogan is just do it. You know, is because it means to conquer, to win, right? So we need to change verbiage in our own mind to realize that what we tell ourselves is what really kind of forms our next day.
And matters.
You know, it really does matter.
I like that.
I mean, it really does matter. And if we're using words like try or can't or maybe or tomorrow or I'm not ready, your brain's never ready. Your brain's never going to do it, okay? Because you're telling yourself your inability. You're insecure. You can't make it happen.
You give it an out.
Yeah, it's a permission statement.
Yeah.
You know, that's what addicts have. We're full of permission statements.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and I can always tell now when I start thinking about one and I'll start talking about, oh, wait a minute. Nope, that's permission statement. Yeah. Pull that out and go away with it, you know?
Yeah. When I was locked up, the Well, the time I did 7.5 months, I had to go to ISF in Henderson, and we learned a lot. It was treatment.
Yeah, I was in Winsboro unit.
Yeah, basically safe P.
Mhm.
Wasn't quite safe P, but yeah. So you learn a lot of your thinking problems and all that. And one of the big ones that I agree with, but if you're in business, you have to be a little borderline delusional to see a future and to push yourself there. So unrealistic expectations, that's a big one for a lot of people. But at the same time, you have to be kind of unrealistic if you are running businesses and stuff, because most normal thinking people can't think of even exploding something to getting to that point that you want it to be at.
Sure, sure. Now let me ask you a question in response to that. So, do we as business owners really have to have some form of delusional thinking, or are we just forward thinkers into what we know can happen?
Well, that's a good question, and it may not be necessarily delusional thinking, but for instance,
Just shifting your perspective,
Yeah.
some man.
yeah, you know, but I don't know, because there's, let's just say, a product that you come out with,
Mhm.
and the people that end up making hundreds of millions of dollars off of it. Most people would have never even thought that it can do that, or even thought about it.
Yeah.
And I've seen success stories of kids doing it. So to me, to even think that it can get there kind of is a little delusional, maybe, but it also could be forward thinking, you know?
Excuse me. Yeah, it's funny. You say that. So in 2001 is when I started my entrepreneurial journey. Okay, this was about, I was just married, new and whatnot, and I was bound and determined to make money out of thin air. Bound and determined. Nobody could talk me out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a dollar bill, and I put 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros behind the $1. So it was a $10,000 bill, and I posted it right in front of my computer. So I was looking at it every day, right? Well, my older sister, who has passed recently, has said, Jeremy, when you make your first $10,000 online, make sure you call me, let me know, because she wasn't much of a believer, right? And I said, not a problem. I happened to get a 30-minute email conversation done with a company out of Ohio.
Yep.
And they sent me a $16,000 PayPal invoice within a half hour. Now, it's the ability to see beyond what we have in our tangible hands.
Yeah.
You know, that's what business owners exist for. They see something that they want to bring to the market, bring to the consumer base, and then they work toward it.
Yeah.
You know, and then it probably could be perceived as delusional from someone that doesn't understand those concepts and modes of thinking. But really, it's forward thinking. It's the ability to see something that can happen and get there.
Yeah. And that's what separates a lot of the successful business owners apart from normal everyday thinkers that are working just a normal 9 to 5. And this is nothing against those people. Literally, the 9 to 5 workers are what keeps the country and the world running. But the people that have that other form of thinking are the ones that normally end up being the successful people.
Mm-hmm,
so.
Absolutely. And it's like you said, the 9 to 5ers are needed. I've done a 9 to 5. I mean, we've done it. You know, the ability to be able to, for example, leave a 9 to 5 because you built something tangible for your family, and now you're not trying to build someone else's empire, is one of the biggest accomplishments, I think, for people that have the mind to want to create something better for the family or themselves or their kids or whatever. You know, because it's that first huge contract. You know. It's like I wrote in one of my ebooks about when I was going from sales into a startup, just trying to leave the 9 to 5, well, 10 to 10, you know, whatever it is, you know, stuff in sales, to be able to create my own thing. And hardest thing I probably ever did. But I did it. I pulled out of a 9 to 5 and started straight working all the way from home.
Yeah.
And that was fun. I mean, you know, started website building at $300. Ended at 3,500, but you know, it took me a minute to get there. You know,
right?
I mean, it's just like this morning. I posted about being here in Cass this morning, and it wasn't that, you know, it wasn't that I had sent an email or sent a letter to some speaking group to want to get on or anything like that. You know, like speakers are trained to do, right? I just put what I have out, my content, my knowledge. I just pushed my story, and then here we are. You know, and that's what it's all about. You know, don't go looking for recognition, but make sure you accept it when it comes along.
Yes, sir. And I mean, all it takes is one break, and you can be set. And yeah, I'm talking about a 9 to 5. I mean, I'm working 15-hour days right now, 12-hour shift, 3 hours of driving. It's through my own company, but I'm still giving up a lot of my life to an oil company. So that's something I'm trying to get away from. But, you know, bills are high.
Hey, there ain't no doubt about that, man. You know, that's one thing is with big money comes big responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like I was telling you on the way here today that, you know, I've made the 10, 15, 20 grand a month from home, online, you know, burnt me out. 13 years after we married, she divorced me. A lot of that was my fault. I own it. I mean, I'm not, you know, it's just, it is what it is, you know, but I committed a lot of myself to business and other things that weren't feeding my family, you know, and that's my own fault, you know, and I've accepted it, moved on, I own it, you know, but, well, I lost my train of thought there.
Yeah.
I went off a little side trip there, so.
It happens.
Yeah, it does, it does. I'm getting old, man. Turned 50, so, you know.
Yeah. Well, you look like you're getting around good, though, to still be fit.
I'm still getting around good. I mean, you know, I have pain sometimes here and there, but, you know, it is what it is. What kind of tokens you got for everybody today before we? I'm sure we're going to be splitting off here in a minute.
Yeah, we're at least going to get a break in. I don't know. I don't have my watch on to know what time it is, but I do have to do a live drawing for Rowdy Goose, so we got to get that out of the way at 12. But, you know, I mean, I appreciate you coming on, and I feel like people that are listening to this, I hope that you get something out of this. I feel like you're going to. And like we said earlier, we'll be your support system. If you have a story that needs to be told, or you feel like sharing a success story and us putting it on here, or you just want to share it with us, feel free, message me, drop it in the comments, whatever you want to do, and let's get it out there. We're here to listen. If you follow my Facebook, I made a post the other day that was something about people listening or not listening, and I'm here to listen. So.
Absolutely. I agree too, man. I appreciate you having me on. It's been a fun time, and I certainly look forward to many other episodes or whatever as you move forward and growing. So, anything I can do to help out, man, I'm here for it.
Yes, sir. I will definitely have you on again. We're actually scheduled out until episode 12 right now.
Nice.
With guys coming on, and it's different people from all different walks of life. Next week, we actually have a good buddy of mine that was with me during those hard times, and both of us have we're living a completely different life than we used to. So
right on.
I'm looking forward to that one. Then we're going to dive into my past a little bit more with that. There's a story there that's definitely going to get told, but I'm kind of just easing y'all into it because I don't want to give it all away at once, you know? So, and still, it's going to be really my first time opening up publicly and talking about it. So, yeah, we're kind of slow rolling it a little bit.
No, ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, being able to talk about our story is therapy.
Yeah.
You know, so even if it's just pieces at a time, I mean, you're going to receive such a return on investment. That's going to be just mind blowing, man.
Right. So, well, Mr. Jeremy, thank you for coming on.
Right on.
And I think we're going to wrap up this episode. If you're still watching, thank you for tuning in. And this is episode 2 with Jeremy Nelson of the Let's Get Rowdy podcast. Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys.